when we go. All right, are you ready? I think it's about that time. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Happy Friday. Hope you're ready to go. It is finally, well, I should say it's finally spring because it was supposed to be that this week. And I was hoping to have a nice spring weekend. I wake up and it's like 15 degrees out here. God, Minnesota kills me. Anyway, as usual, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. We got news on the Trump's going to be arrested. I'm falling asleep waiting. But there may be the left, Democrats, liberals, the media, I know, super redundant. They may have a new white knight coming to their rescue. At least we'll see. His name's Jack, and I don't mean Jack Dorsey or Jack Nicholson or Jack Kennedy or anyone like that. But this would be Jack Smith. I almost said, well, never mind. So we're going to get into it here shortly. And I don't know. I don't have much other stuff to say in the intro. So, Johnny, how about playing the real intro, shall we?
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Good damn morning, people. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel, where we're still waiting. We're waiting. I'm waiting for these indictments. I just want to see what they try to do. And because there's the one in Manhattan. There's Jack Smith, who's looking at the documents that were found at Trump's the raid at Mar-a-Lago that were locked away in a vault with Secret Service protection, that not just hanging in the garage in a box by the Corvette. And then also they're looking down in Georgia. In Georgia, they're trying to say there was some illegal election interference. They're going to try that one too. And still, who knows if the Justice Department tries to try Trump for an insurrection. So, anyway, I'm still eating. I forgot. I didn't finish my breakfast. Tell you what, it's 285.928K here. I don't know what that means. So anyway, and at 10C, I don't even know what that means either. I'm an American. We talking Fahrenheit. No, I'm just kidding. I know that. I know that's probably around around 40 degrees. I don't know. What would 10C be? 30, 40? I don't know. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. Let's see who is here though, because that's what I do. I want to say hi. So first in the chat over on Rumble, Avocados Diabli gets the bell. You got to be quick. What is this? Why is there a fruit fly on my desk? Get that off my desk. Also, good morning to Mike Savage, Blarg, TC's in the house, Next Gen Troll, Simon Wolfwood, and Furry Kitten. That's everyone over on Rumble. Nice to have you jump in over there. Also on the YouTube. Oh, I got to go to Top Chat. I hate live chat. I want Top Chat. I like the live chat. Over on YouTube, Avocados Diabli gets the bell. Also, good morning, James Colley, Gunfox61, Maddie's in the house. Also, good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg. Good morning, Dr. Funkenstein's Ghost, Jen T. Maxie's in here. One of my favorite Canadians. Tyler Epps in the house, James Colley. Also TC, Lord Stanhope's here. Good morning, Simon Wolfwood. My actual favorite Canadian, Jaeger Pony's in the house. Nice to see you. Rotten Corpse is here. I said Lord Stanhope. Richo, my friend from down under. I forgot. I don't forgot the words. Something. The land down under. Also, Jimmy Das Hotep's in the house. Good morning also to Midnight in Exile. And if I accidentally snuck by, did I say Rotten Corpse? I think I did. If I missed you, I promise I'll probably figure it out eventually. So nice to have you here. Now, that's not very many people here today. Now, I don't know. You know what? It's Friday, so I know that no one's overwatching Crowder. By the way, did you see? So Crowder is back, and he's doing his. He's on Rumble now. Like, he's got one of those deals in Rumble, kind of like Rakita got, but on even a bigger scale, because Crowder's got millions of followers, right? And his first show, I think it was Monday, he had has 2.1 million views, and I'm like, damn, that's amazing. And then he had, I think over 1 million on Tuesday too. So it's kind of crazy. Hey, Campbell's in the house. One of my original viewers, the Morning Night Live. Nice to have you here, sir. So anyway, I know that there's a few people who watch Crowder versus me or whatever, but you know what I want to do? I should see if I could figure out how I could get Crowder's Friday audience, because he doesn't stream on Friday, and I stream Monday through Friday. And so if people are just lost on Friday what to do without their Crowder fix, and I'm not saying I'm anything like Crowder, I'm a little different, but I should tap into that wait, is this not going on? Oh, that's my monitor's behind like 16 minutes. There we go. I should tap into that Crowder non-Friday watching shit. You know what I mean? Thought Crowder was leaving. No, he wasn't leaving. He just left the Blaze, and so he's been off air or offline or whatever for a while. So he has his on Mug Club and whatever. He has a deal with Rumble now, because remember he had the little deal they were trying to, he was supposedly going to try to make out a deal with the Daily Wire, and there was a big hubbub about that, and then he kind of, I don't like how that all played out. I don't think they should have played out in public, but it did. But no, he's on Rumble now. So he does the first hour of a show on YouTube just like he did before, and then he simulcasts on Rumble, and then does the full show on Rumble. And now he has Mug Club over on Rumble, whatever. So if you're a Crowder fan, I don't have any problem. Go watch Crowder if you like him, or watch a replay of him and watch me, or do whatever you do. But I kind of enjoy his show. Sometimes I watch it on replay after I get done with this show. So let's see. I may start pushing people there during the week with a Rumble rant here and there. Hey, that's a good idea. That'd be good. Thanks, Jimmy. That'd be awesome. Good morning. Also, fake news expert and Jay Pylon, another friend of Hotep Nation. So anyway, all right. Daily Wire needed to be exposed as the controlled op that they are. Let me think about that. As the controlled op that they are. I think they tiptoe the line, but they want to be liked too. I think that's part of it. I don't know if necessarily they're controlled op, but they certainly care about being liked. And I think they're also very, very worried about crossing the line that can get them in trouble. And I'd say Matt Walsh probably pushes that line for them on YouTube. It's interesting because a lot of stuff that they do, at least like Matt Walsh and what's the other, Michael Knowles, especially when they start talking about the let's see, TQIA thing, the TQIA plus. I'm surprised that they don't get in trouble with YouTube, but I think they might bring in too much money. They're too big. Although Crowder was bigger than them, so who knows? So, but yeah, they're so worried about crossing that line, which I think what's happening with Rumble, especially some of these huge accounts, these huge personalities starting to do deals with Rumble. I think you're going to see more of that, especially not just from conservatives, but from people who frequently get the shaft from YouTube, from other social media. Because remember, it's not just, while it's mostly conservatives who get the shaft from them, there's a lot of liberals, especially if they're anti-war, anti-establishment liberals, that, get a lot of shit from YouTube and that community. Like the Jimmy Dores of the world. I mean, although he hasn't been suspended, fortunately, he somehow stops from, crossing whatever lines, those imaginary lines that they have. But I see it a lot, especially when I look at my monetization and I try every day. I have to go in and every day on monetization, I have to go in and appeal the fact that they're limiting my monetization on every single stream that I put out. Now, they don't do it on all my videos, but they do it on every single stream where I have to go in and have them request a review. And then sometimes it's just so random on whether or not they are going to go full monetization or not on every stream. There's no way to know their rules. And they will not tell you when they won't allow it. So that's some, that's some inside baseball shit that maybe you don't need to know. Let's get into some news though, because that's what I do here. Now, okay, what the fuck? Oh, I swore. How far am I in? I'm far in enough. I just happened to see a Krasenstein tweet. I know how much you guys love the Krasensteins, but I'm trying to figure out what this one means. So I'm gonna let's open this and see what the hell Mr. Bryan's talking about. Whoa, what the hell happened there? What the hell happened? Oh, that's weird. What is that? No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to let's try this. I was supposed to copy and paste that. What the hell happened? All right, here we go. So, and this is, it's a theme that seems to be going around because I saw Keith Olbermann say the same thing this morning. Maybe I'll find them some stuff on it. Why is this not working? Come on. Jeez, Christmas. This is copy, link to tweet. This is not a boomer thing. I've done it 3 times. It hasn't worked. There we go. So this tweet by Bryan Krasenstein, and the only reason I use Krasenstein because these idiots are constantly pumping out propaganda, right? He says, breaking, Trump continues to incite violence on Truth Social. First, he calls for protests to, quote, take our nation back. Oh my. Why didn't that work? Now he's claiming that there will be potential death and destruction that could be catastrophic for our country if he's charged in Manhattan. How do you incite violence without directly telling people to cause violence? Well, that's a good question, Ed. It's Ed Crest. Sorry. Hi, Chicago Mike and Septus Wolf. You tell them to do something that could be construed by violent supporters as requiring violence, i.e. take our nation back. Yeah, because I've never, ever once in the entire history of politics heard a Democrat say that same thing. And then let them know that you expect that there will be violence. He did both. Trump is a master of asking for crime without explicitly asking for crime, also that he can maintain culpable deniability. Well, Ed, this is kind of the dog whistle theory. If you see a dog whistle, or hear a dog whistle, you're probably the dog. Yeah, maybe in your circles that's how it is, but I don't know about that. But Olbermann was bitching about that this morning too. I don't have the links to the tweets. Let me see if I go into the Explore tab here because I think he was trending even. Well, no, he's not. So I guess it doesn't matter. But I just thought, wow, these guys are freaking lunatics. Trump is not calling for violence, and in fact, I think there's a lot of Trump supporters who are very wary of being caught in that trap again because this whole January 6th debacle, let's just say, without saying there was a conspiracy, let's just say that there were some flags that may have been manufactured and well, you know what I mean. So anyway, good morning, Black Hebrew Israelite. Nice to see you. So, wait, it's an actual. Oh, Kessler, I see you, Kessler. How you doing? I missed you there. I apologize. I don't know if I missed anybody else, but yeah, just shout it out if I missed you. I will acknowledge you. All right, let's get into a couple things that are trending this morning. That I don't really know. A couple of them I don't even know why. I just happened to click on this. Kayleigh McEnany is trending, so it never hurts to click on something that has to do with Kayleigh McEnany. So people are bitching about her, saying something about. So this is Kayleigh McEnany claims she never lied as the White House press secretary. There are 3 times she did. She pushed the big lie that Trump won the 2020 election. You know, every time they use that phrase, the big lie, do they not realize that that is propaganda pushed by the guy with the little funny mustache from the 40s? The guy with the little Charlie Chaplin mustache from Germany. That's a twisted cross propaganda phrase. They're because especially when they're always talking about how they call everybody Nazis, right? But they are using a Nazi propaganda phrase. She falsely asserted that Trump had a healthcare plan. Well, how? What do you mean falsely asserted? What if maybe he did? Now you just may not like it, but maybe he did. And then state that Trump never downplayed the coronavirus. Look, whatever. I don't know. There's no real reason here why she's trending that I can see. Then there's another person, Kayleigh McEnany was the most competent Trump administrator at the end of his term by a country mile. The comments here are exactly what you would think from MAGA. Betrayal, rhino, disloyal. Has it ever occurred to our red-headed brethren that people closest to the first... Okay. Apparently, she was praising Mike Pence. An excellent interview with Mike Pence on Sean Hannity. His patriotism, love for country, and love for his savior on full display. Why are you mad about that? Look, regardless of what, some people think Mike Pence should have, done something different in 2020. You may think that or you may not, but I don't think there's any reason to besmirch his character. I mean, so he didn't do what you want, and you may not agree with him on some stuff, but is there anyone probably more solid of a person than Mike Pence? Now, I don't think he'd make a great president. Wouldn't vote for him for anything. But as far as being a good man, tell me why you wouldn't think that. So I don't know. Anyway, let's get a couple. Oh, I have some thank yous real quick here too. Thanks to everyone who tweeted out the show. Sound Nation, thank you. TC and that's it. Guys, okay, do me a favor. The Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please share the stream, hit the like button. You can sponsor the show at pdognight.live. That's the Streamlabs link. That's where you can, even for a deuce, if you drop a deuce in the tip jar, you can write just as much as if you put $100 in there. It's not like YouTube Super Chats where if you only put $2 in, you only get 50 characters. But if you put a lot of money in, well, then you can just say all you want. I am an equal opportunity commenter when you give me money. So please, you can use that if you'd like, or you can use Rumble Rants and the other stuff. So my Rumble just went 8-bit. Really? Was that on purpose, Avocados Diabli? I don't know. I'm trying to pay attention to Rumble too, guys. So let's see. So that's everyone I'm thinking, I guess. Okay. All right, let's move on down. Oh, by the way, thanks Jimmy Das Hotep too. There's something else on Twitter. I know I'm not in the news yet, but I got to do this while I'm thinking about it. So Anna Kasparian is in a little bit of hot water. Did you guys know this? I didn't know. I found this out. Where is it? Let me find I responded to this because I got to, where the hell is it? Okay, so Anna Kasparian tweeted this. Looks like 2 days ago, and I couldn't figure out why a bunch of people were bitching at the Young Turks. I just noticed it, but I didn't really pay attention. And then I found this tweet by Anna Kasparian where she says, quote, "I am a woman. Please don't ever refer to me as a person with a uterus, birthing person, or person who menstruates. How did people not realize how degrading this is? You can support the transgender community without doing this shit." And I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, Anna Kasparian, what are you doing? You're breaking you're going to be breaking people's brains with that kind of talk. And as expected, and Zuby predicted this, your side is going to roast you now. I hope you're ready for the tolerance. End quote. Hello, Aaron Meredith, by the way. And I was like, oh my gosh, did she really write this? And so then she says, in responding to Zuby, she says, they have a right to speak their piece, which she put piece like a piece of, garbage or piece of meat or whatever, Piece, which is that's not what the phrase goes. Oh, Rachel Madhouse Dildo, how you doing? I see you. It's peace, like Peace, speak your piece, your inner peace. But anyway, she said they have the right to speak their piece as I do. And I'm thinking, oh, gee, yeah, sure. And I hope you find some because this is going to last a while. People are just roasting her. But here's the thing. People that she hates are praising her, and the people that she's supposed to like are just ripping her to shreds. So Carrie Lake, like it says, a broken clock, which is true, in which she replies, "I think you're an embarrassment to this country and a full-blown lunatic." And someone says, "Well, see, this is the kind of support you have when you talk this transphobic speak and shit." The Humanist Report, "I respect you a lot, but this notion that the mere existence of trans-exclusive terms rarely used in casual convos somehow degrades women comes right out of the right's anti-trans war on women's playbook." What the hell are you talking about? There's no... How is there an anti-trans war on women? And what war on women? And so she replies, "Hey, Mike, you're a guy who has no clue what it's like to have your reproductive freedom taken away, but consider what it's like to have the same lawmakers who fail to protect our rights turn around and call us people with uteruses. It's not inclusive if cis women hate it." Now, what she doesn't seem to understand here is when she finished that sentence with the words, "It's not inclusive if cis women hate it," she's perpetuating it even more by using that terminology. See, she's in a rock and hard place because she knows there is a objective definition of what a woman is, right? But they don't want to say that anymore. They say that, nope, women is just a feeling. It's it's people who identify as a woman, right? And it's crazy, but and this whole it just goes on and on. I'll show you. I'll go through another one here. This one says, "I am also a woman and proud of it and fight for us every day, but not everyone who deals with reproductive issues is a woman. Speaking with inclusion does not erase your womanhood, and you actually can't support the trans and GN, gender nonconforming communities without inclusion." And I would say to Liz, well, you know what? There is a functional definition of what a woman is, and I'm sorry that if some people who are trans don't fit that. That means that if you're a trans man, that means you are a female. You are by traditional definition, woman, even though you live your life as a man, or you try to live your life as a man. You don't know what it means to be a man. You just have a feeling. A feeling doesn't mean anything. So anyway, so it's just, but there's tons of people chiming in on this. And the one that really got to me, though, was someone named Frances Cassandra Coppola. Now, I don't know if she's related to anyone in the famous Coppola movie dynasty or not. But she says, I am a woman. I don't have a uterus. I don't menstruate. And I have never been able to give birth naturally. How dare you take for granted that woman necessarily means any of these things? Use language properly, please. What? Okay, so apparently maybe Frances has had a hysterectomy. He doesn't menstruate because she's old. Have never been able to give birth, which is okay. But who said that woman is those things? Okay, just because your body has an anomaly of non-functionality in those certain areas or whatever it is that it was, doesn't remove the definition of woman from a physiological phenomenon, right? And someone said, well, if you have two X chromosomes, you're a woman. XY, you're a man. Period. No pun intended. Better. To which she replies, sadly, it's not that simple. Please go and learn about chromosomal abnormalities. Which the next person rightly points out, well, that's why it's called an abnormality. It doesn't mean that I hate this argument. Well, there are such things as intersex people. They have a chromosomal abnormality, right? Yeah, 0.18% people have it, but that doesn't mean that they're not human beings. It just because there's an exception to the rule doesn't mean the rule does not apply. And I make this argument all the time. People who have Down syndrome, it doesn't mean that they're not human. It doesn't change what they are. It just means they have an anomaly. And I know some people don't want to say a birth defect, but they have a chromosomal anomaly that changes their physiology. But the scientific community has put a label on all the different chromosomal anomalies for intersex people, and so usually still classify them as a man or woman. But the fact that you unless you are a person who's intersex, this argument doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that sex is on a spectrum. It just means that there's some people who have a anomaly. That's so anyway. So one of the points I think I can't even remember the point I made about that to Anna as I wrote about this. One was more degrading. And then this is the other part that this woman said. So she said, because someone asked her to take a step back. Do you realize that both of you are arguing the same thing, not wanting to be identified by body parts? If you actually read her comment, she's saying it's degrading to her as a woman to be known for a body part. And so this woman says, and I am saying it is degrading for me, the word woman, to be used to mean people who have body parts that I do not. Now, so basically she's saying defining women by their physiology, their anatomy, their chromosomes, whatever. She's saying that is degrading. And so my question is that more degrading than calling you a woman because you might have played with dolls or tried on mom's shoes or maybe own a pair of shopping shorts? Which is more degrading, an objective, an objective definition, or just someone who has a feeling? Okay. And so I'm like, fine, I'll be happy to hear an objective functional definition. There is a reason you call yourself a woman. Is it just a feeling? Or so I wanted to know, why does Frances Cassandra Coppola, why does she call herself a woman then? Is it just because it's a feeling? Or does she have some objective reason that she calls herself a woman? And that's a question that they really never, ever, ever want to ask. Or to answer, excuse me. They never really want to answer that question. So it's just, it's very strange to me. But Anna's getting ripped to shreds for the last 2 days. And I'm waiting. It's Anna Kasparian backtrack watch right now. I'm pretty confident that she'll be backtracking on what she said there. And then what was the other one? There was another thing. Oh, and as far as Anna goes, she said that she goes, I'm sure, here, I'll put it on the screen. I'm sure a lot of women don't want to be minimalized to a bodily function or body part. So the point here is, though, Anna Kasparian, when you demand that people be allowed to define themselves by subjective stereotypes, feelings, and roles, but then you complain about being defined by the remaining objective criteria, you certainly are beginning to understand the dilemma that you've helped to cater to the masses. In other words, congratulations. Wait, I forgot to be ready for this. I have a button for this. Oh, here it is.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
There you go. So she played herself. She painted herself in this corner, and good luck, Anna. I just got to say, good luck to you. Real quick, thank you, Maddie, for sponsoring the show. Dropping a link into the tip jar. And Maddie, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Let's put some funk on for this one. Maddie says, it's funny how it's only the advocates that are pushing for women to be reduced to their body parts when they are the ones fighting to not be ostracized sexually because of body parts. They need to pick a damn side. I agree. Thank you, Maddie. Appreciate you sponsoring the show as you often do. So, all right. Let's move on. Hello, Unacceptable Views. I don't like Cray Dog. Oh, well, never support these weirdos. I don't know what I got mixed up in what you wrote there. All right. I just looked over Rumble. You can make a bitch bun with your fist. You know, Kung Fu style, grip style. Okay, anyway. All right. A couple things that are happening in the world. Deutsche Bank is trending this morning because apparently, I don't know, is Deutsche Bank having problems? Whenever you say they have ample capital liquidity, you know that the shit is about to hit the fan in at least one big bank. Looks like Deutsche Bank is about to get shellacked. Eurozone banking sector is healthy with ample capital. Okay. Good morning. Another day, another bank in trouble. Deutsche Bank is down 14% today. Their credit default swaps are surging. This means the cost to insure bondholders against default is rising rapidly, and that's not good. Deutsche Bank is the largest bank in Germany. So there you go. They could be the next one. I don't see any articles listed, but gird your loins. Another bank in trouble, in theory. We'll see what happens. Although, you know, it's funny that, the Credit Suisse got bought by UBS. I don't know if that's a good deal for UBS, but maybe it saves that part of the financial sector. Real quick, good morning, Jeff Overturf. Good morning, Games Lames. Nice to see you guys here. Welcome. Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrat minority leader in the House of Representatives, is trending. I guess he had some witty comeback some time today, but somebody said here's something he said, though, that this is something he said on the House floor. I believe this was yesterday. And just I'm going to give you a chance to answer a question on this. I'm going to play. In fact, let me just make the poll right now. Oh, wait, not a Q&A. What am I doing? I don't want to do that. I want to do a poll. Let's do a poll. And here it is. This is the poll, and you have to hear before you answer. You have to ask, is what Hakeem Jeffries saying in this phrase a lie? Is it a lie? Okay. Again, the question is it a lie? Even though I didn't write out lie, I just wrote lie. Is it a lie? Okay. Hakeem Jeffries.
Extreme MAGA Republicans don't want the children of America to learn about the Holocaust.
Okay. Is that a lie? Answer yes. If that is the truth, answer no. so they're on this kick that Republicans don't want people to know history. It's an outrageous lie. I'm just saying. I don't even give you a chance. Let's see what else was on here. I don't know why else he's trending, but that was the one that got to me. So anyway, let's move on. Jack Smith is also trending. Before I do that, though, thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep, with a big bull in the tip jar, which makes Jimmy Das Hotep the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. And let me get some good music for this one. Jimmy Das Hotep says, agreed, women need to raise hell. I am a man. It doesn't concern me unless it gets into realms dealing with my kids. The banks are trash. The Fed fixing what they were supposed to not let happen is a joke. FTG. Yes. Absolutely, Jimmy Das Hotep. Absolutely. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Stop the music. There we go. So, I was telling you, we've been talking. Oh, here's Olbermann. I found him. I know you guys want to see Olbermann's just fantastic face, right? So, so he's claiming that Trump calling for protests around, in New York City is saying that he's, making terroristic threats against Alvin Bragg. Now, as we already know from yesterday, Trump wants to be arrested in Manhattan. That's the place where he wants it because it's the most ridiculous case. He wants to be handcuffed and perp walked, and he wants the optics of a Manhattan DA, arresting a former president of the United States, because it bolster his idea of this being a witch hunt, especially on the ridiculous charges that they're thinking of doing, right? So right now, since that one's on hold, a lot of people, Democrats, leftists, media, are moving their eggs from the Manhattan DA's office to Jack Smith. Jack Smith, the special counsel who was appointed to look over the classified documents at Mar-a-Lago, right? And so it's interesting. Here's a good example of what people are saying. This is typical. Special counsel Jack Smith is closing in on Donald Trump, and it's glorious. No, drop a heart to show him your support. Like, is this another walls are closing in thing? But here's Olbermann. Here's Keith Olbermann. This is what I meant to show you earlier. Listen, here's Crazy Keith talking about apparently what Trump put on Truth Social.
Donald Trump must be arrested for his terroristic threats against...
Now, wait a minute. So how long has Keith Olbermann been demanding that Donald Trump be arrested? In fact, I think he started doing it before Trump started his term as president. Anyway, I'm going to start this over. Just this is entertaining to me.
Donald Trump must be arrested for his terroristic threats against Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg. In social media post yesterday, Trump called him a, quote, animal. Trump insisted he be, quote, removed.
Notice you see how look what he does here. He singles out just single words, not phrases, not anything else. He just single words. And then says, well, that's dangerous. Let's see.
Trump showed a picture of himself holding a baseball bat, posed exactly as in a movie murder scene, next to a picture of Bragg.
Did he?
It is a call to murder by stochastic terrorism.
Oh, stochastic terrorism. Yes. Yes. Very good, Keith. You know the language. Very, very good. Very good.
A remote control as disgusting as Charles Manson.
Oh.
Arrest Trump now.
Oh my God. I wasn't expecting the Charles Manson comparison.
So much as Trump has threatened Bragg and 3 other prosecutors.
Oh, has he?
Trump has already proved he is an active mortal threat to all of them and to all of the lives of all witnesses involved. Trump cannot be granted bail. The Friday Countdown podcast is now available.
Okay, so there you go. There's Keith O. Hello, those ain't real, dude. How you doing? So anyway, a lot of people are looking at Jack Smith because they say that, this is someone, I don't know who Cat is. Cat is a proud Democrat news junkie and says Jack Smith is moving fast on Trump. This resistor, Cat 93 Kitty, states MTG thinks she's safe, but wait until Trump throws her under the bus. If you agree and support Ukraine, follow her. What does Ukraine have to do with this? But they keep saying that Donald Trump was trying to overthrow the government, and she's pointing to all these people. There aren't really any articles on this. Well, Jack Smith and Manhattan DA both seek a grand jury vote to indict Trump. Hospitals in GOP states are closing OGBYN wards. Are they now? I'm curious what that means. Idaho City's only hospital blames anti-abortion laws as it ends it should say obstetrician services. Why would they stop obstetrician services? People still have babies, you freaking morons. Or are they closing the abortion clinic portion? Make it make sense. So here what they're saying. Jack Smith says Trump deliberately misled his attorneys about classified documents, and Judge Beryl Howell says the government has shown Trump has committed criminal violations, is taking bets on who indicts Trump first. So they're on indictment watch. No matter who does it, they don't care who. And then you get knuckleheads like Rob Reiner trending. Rob Reiner is so obsessed with making sure Trump goes to jail that he forgot he made over 17 trips to Epstein Island. Let's see. There was a Rob Reiner quote here. I'm kind of random on this today. Let's see. Let's look at the MSM article here. This is on the E. Jean Carroll. I am kind of disjointed today if you haven't noticed. This is from yesterday. Trump rape case jury will be anonymous due to MAGA threats of violence. Now this is from the Daily Beast. So take it with the leftist grain of salt that I'll say with even right-wing or left-wing sources, at least know where your source is coming from. So this is from the Daily Beast. Former President Donald Trump persistent threats and those of his most vicious followers have prompted a New York federal judge to take the remarkable step of keeping the American public from ever finding out the names of the jurors who will decide whether the real estate tycoon graped journalist E. Jean Carroll decades ago. Now, if you've ever heard this story, the story that E. Jean Carroll has told about how Donald Trump assaulted her in a women's changing room. If you listen to her story, what she says is physically impossible. Unless, and there's a big unless Donald Trump is the world's most famous porn star. Because, maybe they'll talk about what it is here. Anyway, now, interesting too about this first line. How often does the public get the names of jurors before the trial? I'm just curious. When are jurors made public before a trial? I'm just curious. Again, it doesn't happen. It's pretty rare. So anyway, if jurors' identities are disclosed, there would be a strong likelihood of unwanted media attention to the jurors, influence attempts, and or harassment, or worse, of jurors by supporters of Mr. Trump. U.S. District Judge Lewis A. Kaplan wrote Thursday. The judge noted several MAGA loyal insurrectionists who violently attacked Congress on January 6, 2021, and later got caught, have themselves argued in court that they were there at Trump's behest. Who wrote this crap? Joseph Paglia, were there at Trump's. You mean Trump called them? He also elaborated on Trump's long history of stoking tensions by targeting the justice system. Wow. The judge, let's see. Now, first of all, the loyal insurrectionists violently attacked Congress on January 6th. So the protesters came there. Now, I know people don't like it when I try to give facts on this. But if you're watching, if you go back and watch the events and how they unfolded, granted, the Ray Epps wave, they did kind of violently attack the police officers and opened up the gates at the closest point to where the people would be coming from the ellipse. And so the people from the ellipse, instead of going to the designated spot that the Trump campaign or Trump organization had reserved on the Capitol grounds, they ended up going straight to the Capitol steps, which means that that's where they all ended up gathering. And then, but there was really no real violence, at least in the crowd that was down below, until the police started throwing flashbangs and spraying people with pepper spray down there. That's when it began to get violent. But no one seems to want to acknowledge that. I've watched so much footage of this, and it's obvious. Then there's obviously the idiots who were up near the Capitol breaking windows, but there's also people who are trying to stop them. There are people who are trying to get police to stop them, and it's pretty amazing, I've got to tell you. But anyway, so this is written from clearly a left perspective. He said, indeed, Mr. Trump himself made critical statements on social media regarding the grand jury foreperson in Atlanta, Georgia, and the jury foreperson in the Roger Stone criminal case. He added, and it bears to mention that Mr. Trump repeatedly attacked courts, judges, various law enforcement officials, and other public officials, and even individual jurors over in other matters. Really? I guess he'd have to give some examples. In his decision, the judge laid out how the anonymity will apply to prospective jurors as they're being questioned, and whoever is picked will get special protection. Okay, isn't that norm for juries? Anybody? When are jury people are made public? When are the names of juries made public ever? Anyway, the names, addresses, and places of employment of prospective jurors shall not be revealed, he wrote. I didn't know that was ever done anyway. That means the American public will be barred from knowing who is on the panel that is scheduled to make a historic decision. Really? A historic decision whether or not Trump raped Carol inside a high-end New York City department store in the mid-1990s? Yeah, they're gonna have. Gee, I'm curious. I'm really curious. What kind of evidence are they going to have for this jury from something that happened more than 30 years ago? I'm just curious. Also, if you ever listen to Carol's story, Jean Carroll's story, again, what she describes is physically impossible. Anyone who's ever had sex would know what she describes is almost, physically impossible, except maybe for a very, very rare breed of human male phenomenon. Just saying. Anyway, he added, let's see. So, but the historic decision whether or not Trump raped Carol inside of a high-end New York City department store. The time has long since passed for criminal charges to be filed. Wait, what? Oh, okay. The time has long since passed for criminal charges to be filed, but Carol has used a new rape survivor law in New York State to bring a civil lawsuit against the former president. The trial is scheduled to take place next month, but the added protection for jurors comes with severely strict measures. The judge says jurors must all stay together during any daytime pause in the trial, and they will be escorted at all times by the U.S. Marshal Service. So, great. So, they'll be very visible, more visible, because they'll be surrounded by U.S. Marshals all the time. Oh, gee, who are those people over there? Well, they're surrounded by a bunch of U.S. Marshals. They must be the jury. That's brilliant. Jurors won't even be allowed to go out to lunch on their own. They'll be accompanied by the marshals or have agents deliver them lunch. On top of that, jurors will quietly be shepherded out of the Manhattan Federal Courthouse every day during the trial. Jurors shall be transported together or in groups from one or more undisclosed location or locations at which jurors can assemble, from which they may return to their respective residencies. The judge order. What the hell is different about this than any other court case? Please, somebody tell me. I don't get it. Anyway, what Carol has alleged in her suit is that she says Donald Trump went into a changing room with her, and she says she was wearing pantyhose. They were standing up, that he somehow got her pantyhose off and had sex with her while her pantyhose were still around her ankles, but they were in a standing position. Anyone ever tried that? Okay, or if you can think about that, people. Think about and then also forcibly penetrate her. Think about that. How would that work? Her description is ridiculous, and it's a little more detailed than that, but yeah, pretty much physically impossible what she describes. So anyway, let's move on because this is stupid. So Ray Epps is trending. Good old Ray Epps. So Donald Trump, they multiple possibilities of him possibly being arrested. In fact, they're still thinking of trying to figure out a way to charge him for an insurrection. But the guy who actually told people to go to the Capitol still hasn't been arrested, and he is filing a lawsuit. He's going to file a lawsuit against Tucker Carlson, the man at the center of the January 6th conspiracy theory. Okay, now it was interesting. The man at the center of January 6th conspiracy theory. Now, we've been seeing a lot of conspiracy theories about January 6th. In fact, some members of the Proud Boys who weren't even there are part of a conspiracy theory that's going on trial right now. But a lawyer for Ray Epps has demanded that Fox host Tucker Carlson publicly apologize for false and defamatory statements that Mr. Epps served as a federal agent during the Capitol attack. Now, I want this case to go forward. I want this case to go forward so bad just for the discovery alone. But I don't recall Tucker Carlson definitively saying that Ray Epps was a federal agent. It raised the question. Anyway, a lawyer for Ray Epps, the man at the center of a prominent conspiracy theory on the Capitol riot, sent a letter on Thursday to Fox host News Tucker Carlson, demanding that he publicly retract his false and defamatory statements that Mr. Epps had worked as a governmental provocateur on January 6, 2021 and helped instigate the mob attack. We must go into the Capitol. Anyway, the letter to Mr. Carlson from the lawyer Michael Tedder also demanded a formal on-air apology for the lies that have been spread about Mr. Epps. You mean the video footage that we can all see? I'm curious. Hello, Dumbbeard. The quote. Now, here's the quote. The fanciful notion that Mr. Carlson advances on his show regarding Mr. Epps' involvement in the January 6th insurrection are demonstrably and already proven to be false? Proven by who and what court? You mean you can't have a theory on why Ray Epps was spent 2 days telling people that they must go into the Capitol? Why Ray Epps was among the first people to breach the barriers? Why Ray Epps was on the Capitol grounds pushing a giant flag banner towards the police? There's video evidence of it. What do you mean? Demonstrably false. And yet Mr. Carlson persists with his assault on the truth. Letters seeking retractions and apologies are often sent when lawyers are preparing to file a defamation lawsuit. As Mr. Tedder noted, Mr. Epps' demands come as Mr. Carlson and other top figures at Fox are already under pressure from a $1.6 billion defamation suit brought by Dominion Voting Systems, accusing them of amplifying lies that the voting machine company was involved in a bizarre plot to steal votes from President Donald Trump in the 2020 election. In a series of recent files, okay, they're going into Dominion. Why? Let's skip the Dominion set. Don't give a shit about that. Down here it says, let's see. Mr. Epps, a former Marine, traveled to Washington from his home in Arizona to support Mr. Trump and was videotaped on the night before the attack, urging people to go inside the Capitol. He was also in the crowd on January 6th, moving past barricades outside the building. No, he was among the first to breach the barricades. He was in the first group. I call him, he was part of what I called the Ray Epps wave. The first people to breach the barriers at the Congress, Ray Epps was part of that group. And that's demonstrably true. He was also in the crowd on January 6th. Listen to this. The way they say it too. Well, he was also in the crowd. Really? No, he was part of the first group to breach the barriers. Moving past the barricades outside the building, although he never went inside and ultimately sought to de-escalate tensions in the mob, except for the fact that there's video of him trying to push a giant banner that's, it's like a wooden case banner across the Capitol steps. Still, he became the face of the conspiracy theory that the federal government had instigated the Capitol attack for a single reason. He was never charged for what he did on January 6th. In reality, prosecutors declined. Now, look, they're softening this by saying, prosecutors declined to file charges against thousands of people who breached the barricades outside the Capitol but never entered the building. Really? They also have filed charges against a lot of people who never entered the building. And the idea that this guy was telling people they must go in the building the day before, on multiple occasions, multiple videos of him, the fact that he was amongst the first people to breach the barricades and charge up the barricades, the fact that he was telling somebody in that crowd, well, don't take this because you don't want him to think that that's a weapon and you don't want to get shot. Really, he was giving advice to the insurrectionists. But he wasn't part of the Capitol riot? What a bunch of crap. He was never charged for what he did on January 6th. Prosecutors declined to file charges against thousands of people. That's him softening it again. Whatever. Mr. Carlson was one of the first major figures in the news media to give the stories about Mr. Epps to a wide audience. Ultimately, they were also echoed by Republican members of Congress like Representative Thomas Massey of Kentucky and Senator Ted Cruz. No, maybe Carlson was one of the first major figures to talk about it, but anybody who'd been paying attention to this whole debacle knew about Ray Epps way before Tucker Carlson ever talked about it. If you spent any time on Twitter or on the internet, everyone knew who Ray Epps was a long time before that. In fact, because he was one of the people on the most wanted list. Interesting. The FBI had him on a most wanted list, but just that's out of happenstance, he disappears from it. In fact, several people who were in that first breach disappeared from it. That's unusual. Mr. Carlson featured Mr. Epps on a show on Fox again this month in a segment based on tens of thousands of hours of Capitol surveillance video footage, to which Speaker McCarthy granted him exclusive access. Mr. Epps appeared only briefly on the show, which broadly sought to play down the events of January 6th and falsely painted the Capitol attack as a largely peaceful gathering of sightseers. It was mostly peaceful if you use the standard of 2020 to determine whether a riot is mostly peaceful or not. Mr. Teeter mocked Mr. Carlson in his letter, suggesting that the TV host was trying to have it both ways. Oddly, Mr. Carlson now also espouses the view that those rioters were akin to peaceful tourists. No, he did not. He acknowledged the people who did violence and said that they should be prosecuted as proper, but that not everyone who went into the Capitol or around the Capitol grounds were committing violence. Most were there just trying to peacefully protest. A lot of them who did go into the Capitol had nothing to do with the wave that broke into the Capitol. They came in different doors that were already opened by police. So maybe you can acknowledge just two things at once. You can walk and you can chew gum. You can see the people over there fighting with the police, and you can see the people over here who are just wandering around, looking around. These people, it's friggin' propaganda, man. So anyway, Ray Epps is going to sue Tucker Carlson. Real quick, thank you, Spud Gun. I appreciate you sponsoring the show. Dropping a big 10 pounds into the tip jar. Now, I'm not familiar with the exchange rates right now, but that's very generous of you. I know how that works. He says, "Hi, Marty. Have some pennies. They're not going to get Trump. The DA dropped it because Cohen's lawyer's letter from 2018 proved it's bull hockey. The stupidity of these anti-Trumpers is frightening." Well, thank you, Spud Gun, for sponsoring the show. Stop the music. Thank you very much for sponsoring the show. Look, that letter from 2018, personally, I think it's irrelevant. There's different people who've said that he did pay Cohen back. There's people who said he didn't pay Cohen back. That letter says that Trump did not reimburse Cohen. It doesn't matter if he reimbursed Cohen. That's the thing. It doesn't matter if he reimbursed Cohen. The Manhattan DA is, he's trying to charge Trump with something that is under federal election law, 1. 2, and it's normally just an administrative fine. It's not a misdemeanor or a felony. It's an administrative fine that the FEC grants to politicians because, yes, politicians are above the law. But apparently the Manhattan DA trying to take something that even if it were, it would normally be a misdemeanor, he's trying to turn it into a felony. And the fact that it's exactly how Hillary Clinton paid Perkins Coie, claiming that it was legal services when it was really opposition research and collusion with the Russians to come up with the Steele dossier. I don't know how that he has some major cojones if he's going to try to bring this case to a judge. And I think it's going to get laughed out of court even if the grand jury indicts Donald Trump. Because I don't know if a judge is going to look at this and go, well, wait a minute, why are you bringing this to this court? This isn't even our jurisdiction. So either way, I appreciate it. Oh, it's worth about $12. Oh, so it's a feminist $12. Thank you, Spud Gun. I appreciate you sponsoring the show, by the way. PDogNight.live. Oh, wait, over there. PDogNight.live. And good morning, Select a Boy. Nice to see you.
Yeah, boy.
All right. So anyway, more on Ray Epps. Here's Tucker Carlson. I think speaking about this, is he talking about the? Well, let's see. Let's see what he says about Ray here.
So, because there's no other crime going on, the Biden Department of Justice has announced it's going to try and jail another, up to 1,200 protesters from January 6th. Is Ray Epps going to be among them?
Oh,
considering he's on tape multiple times calling for people to break the law. We'll see. We'll be watching. Actually, if they don't sweep up Ray Epps, then they've got a few questions to answer.
Yeah. Why? So the Justice Department is looking at charging another 1,200 people. Now, in order to do that, it would have to be people who never entered the Capitol building. So now are they going to charge Ray Epps? I'm still wondering what they did with Jonathan, whatever his name is, the little Antifa fucker. If he got any jail time yet, if they've taken his case to court. But there are still people that are identifiable on the internet that are part of that first Ray Epps wave across the barriers that they haven't arrested. And it's just fascinating why they wouldn't have arrested the people in that first wave. I mean, wouldn't you think that the people who initially pushed police back, knocked them down, gave one police officer a concussion when she fell back and hit her head on the stairs, and they rushed up the Capitol steps, with Ray Epps. And there's a bunch of those people who have not been charged. How can that be? They've been identified. let's see, what's the other one? I had another. Oh, here, Matthew Dowd. Oh, and then here's listen to this. This is on MSNBC. Listen to this. This is crazy. Here's Matthew Dowd.
Ray Epps, a name that everyone has become familiar with because of the far right, pro-Trump protester
because the far right? You mean the guy who was on the FBI most wanted list on this particular event that suddenly removed from the list? He's known because of the far right? Huh? Is that really? Because the far right, that's why he's known.
Ray Epps, a name that everyone has become familiar with because of the far right, pro-Trump protester who was at the center of the right-wing conspiracy theories that he was secretly working with the federal government during the attack on the Capitol.
Why is he arrested?
Well, he's called on Tucker Carlson and Fox News to retract his, quote, false and defamatory statements alleging he was working with the government.
Start popping your popcorn.
What do you make of this cease and desist from Ray Epps against Fox News?
Discovery's going to be a bitch.
I think there's a whole bunch of people out there, including Ray Epps, that have seen that Fox News is an incredibly weakened position right now because of all the lies and things they stole that the Dominion lawsuit has pointed out, and the things they've said internally about what they actually knew and what they reported on air. And so I think it's a demonstration. Finally, I think that Fox News might begin to be held accountable for the damage they've done to our democracy and the damage.
Hold up, Matthew Dowd, you stupid prick. Fox News has done damage to our democracy. Are you saying they should not have a voice? Are you saying the First Amendment doesn't protect them at all? Particularly when it comes to Ray Epps. You're not addressing anything about Ray Epps. You can't explain why Ray Epps is getting a pass. You can't explain why every leftist Democrat media personality is defending Ray Epps. You're calling everyone else an insurrectionist, but Ray Epps gets a pass. Why? No one can figure out why. He's the one, over and over. You've got to go into the Capitol. You've got to go into the Capitol. You've got to go into the Capitol. Don't take this. We want to get up there, but we don't want, you don't want to get shot. He's given insurrectionist advice. What you call insurrectionist. Clearly, and he's just before they break the barricades, he's whispering to the guy who leads the charge to push the barricades back. And yet, hasn't been charged. And all of you, it's amazing that no one has ever called Ray Epps an insurrectionist. I thought everyone who was there to protest the election was an insurrectionist. But suddenly, Ray Epps, he deserves to have peace and just go back home and live on his farm, even though he was there trying to overthrow the government of the United States of America. At least that's what you say. If that's how you overthrow the government, we would be the weakest government on the planet. No one was there. Nobody was there to overthrow the government. Believe me. Because none of them had guns. None of them had weapons. Oh, flag. Oh my God, he has a flagpole. It's a weapon. Now, that is not a planned takeover of the United States of America to take over one building in Congress. Clearly, they were there to protest. But, oh no, you guys say it's an insurrection. Sorry, didn't mean to throw up on you. But why are these people, why are they, their defense of this one man who clearly, even himself said in his text messages to his nephew that he orchestrated all of it. No charges. No charges. like the meme that I put in the thumbnail. One said to go peacefully protest. One told people to go into the Capitol. And yet, these jackholes, they keep defending him. What's up, Candid Hotep? How you doing?
They've done to truth. And I just want to say one thing in the course of this. Bravo to people like Ryan and others who continue to monitor this and not let us forget what happened on January 6th. And that
what happened on January 6th, Matthew? Is it really that much different than what happened at the Supreme Court during the Kavanaugh hearings? Is it that much different than what happened at the White House on May 29th, 2020, when a riot broke out and 60 Secret Service officers were injured? Guard shack was set on fire, a church was set on fire. Have they had a May 29th committee, Matthew Dowd? Have they charged anyone attempting to breach the White House with insurrection or sedition or even assault on Secret Service agents? Have they done any of that? Or during the Capitol hearings, they broke into the Senate office building and occupied the Senate office building. You ask for anyone there to be arrested for an insurrection? I mean, you idiots say it's the worst attack on democracy since the Civil War. Really? Because I remember when they bombed the Senate building in the 80s. I remember when they shot 5 people in Congress in the 50s. There were bombings in the 70s of the U.S. Capitol. But this, the great, the great selfie battle of 2001 or whatever, or 2021, the great selfie insurrection. And yes, the people who fought with police should be charged. Although the police were not good actors in that either. They randomly throwing flashbangs and pepper spraying people who weren't being violent. They didn't set up reinforcements to get the people who were trying to break the windows in the Capitol building. They just stood and watched while people who supposedly were insurrectionists asked them why were they not stopping people from damaging the building. These people make me sick. What he said something else here. Hang on a second. He says one more thing.
We actually have a system of government that even though it takes time, and I know some people...
By the way, he said democracy. He's stupid.
Are very leery of how long things take and how long it takes to hold people accountable. The fact that we have people monitoring this and that ultimately people are held accountable is a great thing. Fox News, I think, is next on the line of entities that are going to be held accountable. And I think Ray Epps sees blood in the water.
Yeah, to your point, there have been 1,000 arrests already in the January 6th insurrection. 1,000 more could potentially face Ray.
And Ray Epps sees blood in the water. Ray Epps needs to shut the fuck up because I think Discovery is going to be a bitch. And the idea that he's saying Tucker lied about him, really? By showing video footage of Ray Epps doing what Tucker said he was doing and speculating on what that might mean? How is that? Good luck, Ray. Good luck, Ray. All right. And then one other article from, now this was late yesterday. Matt Margolis at PJ Media says it's looking like Trump won't be indicted. The left was practically salivating at the thought of Trump getting indicted and arrested, but just as quickly as the hype started, it seems to be fizzling out. It looks like their dreams of seeing him in handcuffs are slipping away faster than a greased pig in a rodeo. At this point, I dare say it looks like it won't happen at all. Well, every time I hear someone say that, then then something else changes. But that's right. No indictment, no handcuffs, no perp walk. The radical left has been yearning for this moment for the years. And for a few days, it seems like that wish might finally come true. However, it now appears to be just another chapter in the never-ending fantasy that always falls short of becoming a reality. The first hint that Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's indictment of Trump was going sour was when former Michael Cohen legal advisor Robert Costello appeared as a surprise witness on Monday. Trump touted Costello's testimony as conclusive and irrefutable evidence of his innocence. Well, how would he know? Because he wasn't at the grand jury. But he says he may not have been exaggerating. It sure looks like Costello's testimony, along with the evidence presented, a 5-year-old letter from Michael Cohen's attorney confirming that Cohen made payments to Stormy Daniels alone and that Trump had no role in reimbursing him, had a significant impact on Bragg's case against Trump. This impact was so substantial that the Manhattan grand jury did not assemble on Wednesday they did not meet on Thursday. Oh, I see. They met on Thursday, but they did not hear a case involving Trump, postponing the alleged indictment to at least next week. However, it remains doubtful that the indictment will occur at all. In fact, the Daily Mail reported on Wednesday that there is speculation that the prosecutors have been unsuccessful in persuading the jury to accept that Trump is guilty of a crime. Quote, they are having trouble convincing the jury to swallow the case. It's a weak case and has caused divisions in the DA's office, a source allegedly told the outlet. Other reports suggest the DA's office could be contemplating a change in strategy. The grand jury meets on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, but postponements are not unusual, and jurors are warned to expect last-minute changes. Either way, it leaves the nation with a cliffhanger. And then it says legal experts from both sides of the political aisle have highlighted the frailty of Bragg's case. Bragg was most certainly aware of this fact, too. Perhaps he didn't care because he was too eager to become a hero to the radical left and advance his career. Or maybe his Trump derangement syndrome blinded him to the fact that he had a weak case. Ironically, the only person who stands to benefit from this situation is Trump. So, yeah, maybe that case, there's a couple other lines, but I'm reading them. Maybe that case is DOA, but they're still banking on the other possibilities. All right, do I have time for a couple more? I do. This is from. Well, crap! This is from this morning. Hold on a second. This is from Front Page. This is an editorial piece by Daniel Greenfield. But maybe we'll finish with this. Did New Yorkers die so a DA could target Trump? DA Bragg claimed he didn't have enough resources to prosecute criminals. This is the hey Trippy, what's happening? This is the rub on Alvin Bragg because he's been downgrading about 50% of all felony cases like violent crimes and whatever, property crimes. He's been downgrading about half the cases in New York from felonies to misdemeanors. And then claiming he doesn't have enough resources to prosecute criminals. So, Than Tway, a 58-year-old Asian American woman, was walking with her son up the stairs of a Chinatown subway station when they were violently assaulted by a violent thug. Than, who had been on her way to a Buddhist temple, had her head smashed into the ground and died. The thug responsible got a mere 1 to 3 years in prison, which effectively amounted to time served. This has become a typical under Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg. Bragg's office let a man accused of graping a teenage girl let him go with 30 days in probation. A week before sentencing, he went on a sex crime spree, attacking 4 different women. One woman stopped his attempt to grape her by hitting him on the head with a hammer, doing the job that the DA wouldn't. A gang member facing 4 grand larceny charges was let loose by Bragg's pro-crime people before he mugged a 14-year-old boy. Another person who took part in a brutal assault on a Jewish man near a pro-Israel rally boasted, "If I could do it again, I would do it again." Despite that, Bragg's offered him a plea deal of 6 months. When Bragg took office, he released a day one memo, which told prosecutors not to pursue prison sentences for many crimes, including armed robberies, and not to ask for life sentences. As a result of his pro-crime guidelines, More than half of felony cases were downgraded to misdemeanors. Felony convictions fell from 68% to 51%, misdemeanor convictions from 53% to 29%, and very few of those ever saw prison. Bragg's pro-crime prosecutorial pipeline turned felonies into misdemeanors, and then the offenders never served a day in prison. Murders rose 10%, aggravated assaults were up 11%, and robberies shot up 25%. Now, Bragg justifies his pro-crime policies by arguing that he was trying to use resources more efficiently. He claimed that his day one memo refusing to prosecute many crimes was about freeing up prosecutorial resources. When Bragg's office dropped most of the charges against a serial shoplifter, they claimed it would have been a waste of resources to go forward. Now, what was Bragg really focusing on? In 2022, even as violent crime shot up at the Manhattan DA's office, and the Manhattan DA's office claimed that it wasn't prosecuting criminals because it was shorthanded, it hired Michael Colangelo, a former Biden DOJ appointee and Sotomayor clerk, who had headed over to the New York State Attorney General's office to go after Trump. Colangelo's current salary isn't listed, but he was earning $203,000 at the federal level, and it isn't likely that he took a pay cut to work for Bragg. Matthew Colangelo brings a wealth of economic justice experience. Well, fantastic. Combined with complex white-collar investigations, and he has sound judgment and integrity needed to pursue justice against powerful people, Bragg bragged. It was no secret whom Bragg had in mind. Oh, I bet it was the guy with the funny hair. Now, while Bragg hired a legal hitman to go after Trump, crime victims were mourning as their attackers were cut loose because the Manhattan DA's office claimed not to have the resources. The investigation of Trump had been led by Susan Hoffinger, the head of the Manhattan DA's Office of Investigations, at a salary of $208,600, along with a team of 3 others. The full cost of the pursuit of Trump and his associates on petty charges is likely to run well into the millions. Now, the Mueller investigation, the obscene $32 million price tag was bad enough, but at the federal level, millions and even billions come out of the petty cash drawer. DA Alvin Bragg, however, told crime victims that he had to free criminals because his office didn't have enough resources. So, Bragg didn't have enough resources to help crime victims, but he had plenty to go after Donald Trump. How many people were killed? How many people were robbed, beaten, raped because Bragg made targeting Trump his priority? Most crimes are committed by career criminals who go in and out of the system until they're finally prosecuted and locked up for good. Taking one criminal out of circulation for even a few years can save lives. The failure to prosecute, however, costs lives. Extra 50 people were killed in Manhattan on Bragg's watch. How many of those people really had to die? An extra 159 women were raped. An extra 3,524 people were robbed. An extra 4,197 people were assaulted. How much of that could have been prevented if Bragg had focused on his prosecutorial resources on pursuing criminals instead of giving perps a pass while focusing on political crimes? Bragg's war against former President Trump is fully consistent with his attitude. When Jose Alba, a bodega store worker, was assaulted and defended his life by stabbing the assailant, Bragg hit him with the highest possible murder charge and $250,000 bail. Those charges were later dropped. A similar case involving a fish market worker also played out more recently. The guy who shall not be named's DA considered criminals to be victims and those who defend themselves to be criminals. Now, it'd be a mistake to imagine that Bragg, like Soros DAs around the country, is reluctant to use the powers of his office. Despite all the chatter about restorative justice and diversion programs, they gleefully unleash ruthless force against their political opponents. That's why St. Louis's Kim Gardner came after Mark and Patricia McCloskey, who displayed firearms in order to deter an invasion by members of a BLM hate mob. That's why Bragg is going after Trump. Progressive prosecutors are really political prosecutors, and Bragg is one of the worst of the lot. Before Bragg, New York State Attorney General Letitia James calmly watched exploding crime rates while going after the NRA, and then Trump with a view to running for governor. The Manhattan DA is just following in her footsteps by prosecuting political crimes instead of crimes. Bragg hopes that Manhattanites hate Trump enough to ignore the fact that he has allowed criminals to run free, and he expects to use the case to run for higher office. For Manhattanites, the question is whether they want public safety or a Trump prosecution. DA Alvin Bragg is out to redeem a year of criminal terror with a Trump arrest, and if New Yorkers had to die, be beaten, robbed, raped to make it happen, well, that's just a small price to pay. All right, that's kind of a brutal editorial there. But anyway, gang, it's Friday. Weekend's coming. My time is up. Do me a favor. If you haven't done so, hit the like button, share the stream. You can sponsor the show at PDogNight.live all weekend long for 24 hours a day. And it's way better than Super Chats. It really is. It's just better. You can write more and you don't have to worry about how much how much you give and whatever. But there's also Super Chats, Rumble Rants, Venmo, Cash App. And then also, if you're watching on replay, especially on Rumble, if you happen to get this far in Rumble, I don't know how you did, but if you get this far in Rumble, would you please let me know you were here in the comment section? I'm just trying to figure out where all these views are coming from. I'm getting between 100, 200 views a day on Rumble, but it's not during the show. So if you happen to drop by, put it in the comment section. Let me know. All right, guys, it's time for me to go. I don't know what we're doing this. I can't yell at my wife because she's not here. We're going to do something. Also, by the way, I want to remind you that if you need palate cleansing entertainment, palate cleansing videos, whatever, my other channel, Marty's Big Journey, I'm starting to put more content on there. I'm dropping some YouTube shorts there. I'm going to put some longer form contents of some of the footage that we've been taking over the last 5 years. In fact, I took a bunch of footage from me and Lady Boober's 25th anniversary. We went to New Orleans, and we did a lot of cool stuff. We did a swamp tour. We went to the World War II Museum. Went to the Museum of Death. There's a place called the Museum of Death in New Orleans. It's a museum all about serial killers, and I found all that footage. I thought I'd lost it. I just found it, so I might have to make some videos about that too. But anyway, I hope you all have a great weekend. There's a possibility we will do some kind of live content this weekend, but if not, I'll see you guys on Monday. Thanks for being here. Appreciate the sponsors. Maddie, Spud Gun. I think it was what the hell happened there? I've never seen that do that before. Hang on a second. What the hell was that? Okay, let's fix this right now. Okay, Jimmy Das Hotep, Spud Gun, Maddie, thank you for sponsoring the show today. I got to go. My name's P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Toodles. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.